Hello everyone and welcome to um, another Crimson Bow draft, which is gonna be a traditional draft. And now I get to play Hullbreaker Horror. I don't think I have had this particular rare, not even once. I have had several rares at multiple times, but this one has evaded me. And now I will of course pick it here, and hopefully blue will be sufficiently open. Other than the rare, this pack I think has Child of the Pack, which is two colors but strong enough to warrant first picking. If you really don't want to pick a two-color card, uh, I think the Falconrot Celebrant is the pick over something like Gift of Fangs. But now I'll take the rare because it's kind of the obvious pick here. Well, uh, this is a pretty sweet pack, and someone took a rare, I assume. Well, of course it could be a red drafter, so it wasn't necessarily even a limited bomb or anything. It could be any rare, but in this format it's also quite likely that it was a bomb. So the other cards in this pack, they are still first pickable cards. The Rending Flame, Packsong Pop, and Flame Blessed Bolt are all cards I wouldn't mind first picking. Gluttonous Quest is nice. And here I think I'll still take the Rending Flame. Also Blue-Red is an archetype I quite like. So let's take this here now. Upgrade, okay, well, there's also a Circle of Confinement, so pretty good packs here. Very good packs here, but of course easy upgrade here. I don't even need to waste any time. That is just an obvious pick. And now, still blue is open, and of course, if blue is like even somewhat open, I will be playing the color because Hullbreaker Horror is good. I need to make sure I will get to 7 lands though, which would be awkward to have a game where I'm stuck at lower than 7 lands for any extended period of time with this thing in my hand. So I'll take the Lunar Rejection here, just to keep myself blue, and any cantrip is good when you want to hit land drops. So yeah, this wouldn't be a bad 2-drop, but I take the bounce spell now. And here, well, definitely blue and red are the colors to draft here. There is a reasonable 2-drop for green. But now, for me, there's like a Cruel Witness, there's a Lacerate Flesh, and a Reckless Impulse. I think it's gonna be one of those. I kind of like the Impulse to hit land drops for this thing, but then again, it's quite early for an Impulse. And blue can have some card draw too, the 4-mana instant, for example. So Lacerate Flesh or the Cruel Witness. I have some burn here, so maybe it is time to take just a creature instead. Although it's not the greatest, but I think I don't want to play multiple 5-mana cards, and this is still pack 1, pick 5, so let's take the 4-mana creature here instead. This is not the deck for Honeymoon Hearse. I want to draft a deck which works well, in which this card works well. I had one draft where I had 2 of these, and it was great because of the multiple 1-drops I had there. But yeah, it's not a common situation where you can actually find this card playable. Now this is again a 2-drop. There's a Scattered Thoughts, which I said earlier that I could easily, I would play this, but of course it helps hitting lands to get the Hullbreaker Horror, but I think it's time to pick a 2-drop, and I just don't like the Wretched Trunks. Even if I now knew that I will end up with 4 of these, I wouldn't play with the card. 2-1, too small. Alright, so this pack, I mean, this is the kind of deck that would actually use Weary Prisoner quite well. I don't like the Syncopate that much, although I do have a lot of instant speed stuff, so I could have a Syncopate in this deck, because I can bounce and burn if I don't get to use the Syncopate. I still don't think it's that good. But then again, I can get something like Weary Prisoner later on. So I think this, if some deck plays the Syncopate, this is the deck. So let's do it. And here I could even take a Siphon Essence, have a true instant speed interaction deck. I don't think the Lightning Wolf is good enough. So the Alchemist's Retrieval is like slightly better. I mean, not better, but a more consistent card. This will always do something. This is sometimes just something you can't leave mana up for, but I guess with the amount of instants here. Okay, I don't usually play counter spells, but let's try now. I mean, I guess it's a Hullbreaker Horror deck that plays counter spells and instant speed stuff and flash creatures like this. Maybe I open another one of these. Who knows? Okay, I'll take the Entomber. It's a decent enough blocker here, and Fear of Death is the card I'm actually won't mind having here. There's a Daybreak combatant. There's a chance I won't be playing red other than splashing the Abrade and Rending Flame. So I think I might take the Millipede, because the combatants is not for this deck. I take the Millipede here just in case I move to blue-green, splashing red. Alright, here there's like nothing. I don't think I'm gonna play the Shield Passer even if I move to blue-white, so I'll take the green card here still. Cradle of Safety. Okay, both of these are good sideboard cards, and this is a best of 3 draft, but I think I like the Cradle a little bit more. Curse of Hospitality. This is not the deck for that card. I do like this card in some decks, but not in this deck. Whispering Wizard, on the other hand, will be quite nice. How many non-creatures? Currently 6 out of my 10 cards are non-creatures. I do need some 2-drops. Hopefully I get the Flame Breather or the Blood Petal Celebrant back, but I'm not gonna pass the Wizard here. Too good. Alright, so now it is time to pick the Scattered Thoughts. Easily over a 3rd counter spell, and I also don't like this. I mean, I think both the Siphon Essence and the Syncopate are better counter spells than the uncommon here. So, okay, there's a Bleed Drive for someone, but let them enjoy it. I'll take the card draw spell here now, and I have a less need for the Reckless Impulse now. I have only one card draw spell, but I think it's time to pick some creature, and it might just be the 3-drop. Not the greatest, but I don't like the Cobalt Lancer much at all. This is not the Ancestral Anger deck, although some blue-red decks really want this card, but this is not the deck. I'll take the 3-mana creature here, why not? And there's a Scarp, and there's a Lacerate Flesh, and the Weary Prisoner. There's also a nice green 2-drop, and a decent green 3-drop too. But I think I'm going to be just blue-red here. So maybe the removal, or maybe the... Yeah, I can take a Lacerate Flesh actually. And if I want to have a... I was about to say, believe me or not, but I was about to say that if I want to have a Weary Prisoner in this deck, and I might actually want, I will get those later, and now is the moment. It's the only uncolored card, so very easy pick here too. Another Self-Hove, I don't know, Entomber, probably still gonna be picked over the Ambush. A 1-3 in this deck is not actually that bad. And hey, I might have a Hullbreaker Horror in my hand, in need of lands. I will discard random creatures to get the lands. It's like a scenario I can imagine happening. Gutter Skulker, no, not really for this deck. I mean, I haven't played with this card either, but this would be nice in some aggressive deck where 4-drop is like your curve stops at 4. This would be a nice, creature in that kind of a deck. But I think here I just take another Scattered Thoughts. That's a good reason to play those counter spells too. Alright, so Daybreak Combatants, well, I guess I take it because it's the only card for my colors, but I will put it to the sideboard. Here, Lightning Wolf or the Binding Geist. I don't need 4-mana cards. I don't need expensive cards either here. Like the Pious Bone, I like it. But I can, excuse me, use this as a blocker, and then I can, slap this on some opponent's creature to give it -2, -0. It's fine. I get the counter spell back. There's a Steelclad Spirit. If I want to have a 2-mana 3/3 or a 3rd counter spell, I don't know if do I need this 1-mana option often? I guess against some decks it would be useful. I will take this, but maybe put to the sideboard for now. Well, there's the Ambush. Not an impressive pack too. I would have wanted to have like an Aberrate or something, but you can't always have great packs. I still have 18 cards I'm willing to play, so I'm not gonna... And some cards that are still playable in the sideboard. Okay, well, look at this. Well, done. Well, I'm taking the Dream Shackle, guys. This is a really good card, but there's also a Stone Chaser Drake. Now this... I mean, the more aggressive you are, the better this is, but this is still a darn good 2-drop in any deck, defensive or not. So I would really be happy to take this and easily would pick this over the other options here. Although this deck wouldn't mind having a foreboding statue. But yeah, Dream Shacklegeist, too good to ignore. Two very good options. And okay, there's a Chill of the Grave. A nice cantrip, buys me time, works with my counter spells and card draw. I have a lot of instants here, by the way. 7, it should be 8. Now, I wouldn't mind having the Evolving Wilds, but I actually don't mind playing 18 lands in this deck, because I have so much card draw now. I want to draw into this Hullbreaker Horror, and I want to have the 7 lands for it. So I think when you play 18 lands, the Evolving Wilds isn't that important. I will still play one, but here I'll just take the Chill of the Grave. Not nice card buying me time. Okay, now I get the Storm Chaser Drake, which I will be picking over the Chill of the Grave. I actually do want to just have some 2-drops. And I probably will play both Entombers. Not something I usually want to do, but I might have to just for mana curve reasons. Hey, there's a Chandra. I have only one of them, so now that this is just a traditional draft, not a Arena Open, not a qualified weekend or anything, I will just take the Mythic Rare. And hey, it's a card I can play, so at 1 mana, yeah, I think I'll play this. It's not the greatest limited Planeswalker, but I will try it. I can sideboard it out if it seems like in the matchup it's not gonna be that good. But I will pick it anyway because it's a Mythic Rare I still need for my collection. Here, I think we are now in the sideboard card range. I don't need another Combatant. Into the Night is bad. I don't need another Serpentine Ambush. I don't think this deck cares about Sure Strike too much, although there's a Drake. But I think I like the Vanderlight Spirit. Maybe more like as a sideboard card. Yeah, or maybe the Sure Strike still. Nah, I'll take the Spirit. It will be decent against decks that have a lot of flyers. It can't block, of course, Ground Guys, so that makes it so that I won't be playing it in main deck. I'm very much interested in blocking in this deck. And the Flame Breather is a nice one here. You can get a lot of free pings there. This might be a greedy pick. I don't think I need a third Entomber. I don't care about the Steelclad Spirit. I have enough now early game that I don't need to have this kind of blockers only. So I'll take the rare here even though I don't need it. And I'm not planning to splash anything green. There was the nice Worm, by the way, but not gonna play yet. Okay, here. I mean the Screaming Swarm. It is a good one. Darn. I'm gonna pick it and maybe I will put it to the main deck. But against some aggressive decks I just need to cut it. But maybe I will start with it in the main. Alright, so here I'll take another Lacerate Flesh over the Pyre Spawn. Rather easy, I think. Easy decision here. And well, this is never gonna be a good one. Yeah, this is too slow. So I'll take the End the Festivities, which is actually not a bad sideboard card in some fringe situations. And here, Ceremonial Knife. No, I want to hit my land drops in this deck. I don't care about the knife. I take these, like if I really need to have more of these, 2/3s. 1/3s, I mean. Heirloom or the Quest. I think I like the creature more. Even though the mana accelerating wouldn't be maybe that bad in this deck, but I like the 3/2 that can create me some blood tokens. Alright, so 43 cards if I play 17 lands, and I think I'm going to play 18, but let's see now. There's nothing here that I'm planning to main deck. I don't need a third counter spell. I can sideboard it in. So I would like to play this late game with 18 lands, so I would cut 4 cards. What those 4 cards would be though? I mean, I guess Chandra should maybe be considered. So let's see, 3 mana, 3 loyalty. It will go straight to 4 loyalty. The second ability, well, there's not gonna be a lot of red cards here. I mean, currently it's 10, and that's assuming I don't cut any. So I rarely will get anything with the second. At 1 red, deal 1 damage. I mean, let's be real. It's not gonna be good in this deck. I could see this being useful in a deck that has, more than 10 red cards to make the second ability good. And even the third ability requires, red spells. Although the emblem is quite good. Even though if you don't hit a lot with the top 5 cards, but I mean, getting to the emblem is gonna be hard. 7 loyalty needs a lot of turns when you can just ramp this up. So this is really not the kind of card this deck needs. I would be playing this some other deck that has, you know, more of an aggressive game plan, that, you know, a deck where this 1 damage will matter a lot. And in this deck it won't matter that much. And then a deck that has at least a reasonable chance to hit a red card with the second ability. This isn't really gonna happen. So yeah, cut it. With all that said, even though during the draft I said I will play it, but now that I see the deck now, it's just not gonna be good in this deck. Yeah, well, I would have to cut 3 more cards. This is gonna be hard because I kind of want to play all this stuff. Is the Cruel Witness a card I need to cut? But it is a 3/3 flyer. Sorry. I like it. I guess I like it enough as a main deck card. Maybe the Binding Geist is not so interesting now that I got the quest. I like the 3/2 a little bit more. But man, it's still 2 cards. Maybe the Fear of Death, although I just want to buy some time until I get my kind of finish level cards. But I could see maybe this being more, you know, better as a sideboard card. And now with the double Scattered Thoughts, that's 5 2-mana cards plus the upgrade, and I guess the Syncopate is sort of a 2-drop. You can sometimes get to counter something even with X equals 1 in the early game. Yeah, I'll put this thing on the 4-drop slot because this is not always gonna be a 2-mana card. But I think I will play the Entombers just because, to have something I can play early. But I really think I would want to play an 18th land. I also have the Lacerate Fleshes here, which will generate me blood tokens sometimes. So if I flood out too badly, I can still, you know, get rid of extra lands. And I have these card draw spells, of course, which if I draw one of these, I will have a lot less trouble with flooding out. Yeah, I think this is an 18 land deck. And I also think that Cruel Witness might be the card to cut in the end. It's not going to do a good blocking duty, but I just have so few ways to kind of deal damage until I get to the... I guess the Dream Shacklegeist can raise the opponent a bit, and the Weary Prisoner can become a 6/6, and with the amount of instant speed cards in my deck, it's actually... I wouldn't mind having 2 of these guys. That's actually true. But yeah, this is one way to also, you know, deal damage to opponent. That's the reason I don't really want to cut it, but I think it is... might be a card I'm gonna cut here from the main deck. Okay, I'm gonna cut it from the main deck. I can sideboard into it if it feels like it's gonna be really, really important. So that is it. No Evolving Wild, so I'm just gonna play a 9 mana base. I still need to hit my... even though I have more blue cards than red cards. Well, not even that much more. But I want to hit my early red spells too, so let's make it equally likely to draw a red source and a blue source. So this is the main deck, best of 3 draft, so I can sideboard into different builds. But let's start with this. And I did realize just that this is my about 3rd blue-red deck in a row in traditional drafts. But so be it. I think it was the correct call to be blue-red in this draft too. Okay. I'll be potentially on the draw. Okay, 18 lands is not enough to get good mana. I'm checking nowadays in best of 3 the number of cards in opponent's library, because there are sometimes people who play like more than 50 cards in best of 3 because there's no, I mean, the opponent can be anyone. There's no rank or matchmaking rating based matchmaking. Alright, so the question is, am I gonna take the risk? I have 16 lands left in the deck, so it's like 50% almost to draw lands here. And here a mountain would be good enough. I can play the quest and the Rending Flame. I think I'm gonna keep it because I have such a high density of lands in the deck still. And I can play 2 of these cards if I draw any land. And that's now going to give me a good curve of Storm Chaser Drake into quest here. Swamp. Vampire's Kiss. Well, I'm not really worried about that. Yeah, that's on turn 2. Yeah, they can get some value out of these blood tokens at some point, but they just use the card for that. And the drain 2 is not relevant when both are at 20. Definitely not relevant at all. I don't think I have any cards that target this thing, but it doesn't matter. I mean, I can target it. My point is target it with something that makes sense. But it doesn't really matter because 2 mana flyer that can also block. Because sometimes we have these things that can't block. Or can't block ground guys or something like that. But this can block anything. It's really good. Even without getting any benefit from the draw a card part. So they do nothing on turn 3 than what, throw away some blood tokens. I mean, not they don't throw this away, they throw away some cards to the blood tokens to find. Okay, why didn't they do this on their own turn? If they, I mean, they might have hit something they could play there, but anyway, not my concern. Now they have the white mana available. I have some removal spells though. Now the question is, am I gonna keep Siphon Essence up or play the Self-Hope Entomber? Let's first see what they do. I mean, if they play like the 2/3 flyer, I probably just Rending Flame it and attack for 5 damage. Probably, although I could just attack with these, and if they trade, that's fine. Then I can leave Siphon SS up. Well, I don't have to now worry about it. They play a Ragged Recluse, which I'm not. I'm gonna just trade here. I'll get a blood token from the quest anyway. Oh, they can actually make it into a 3/3. Well, I will definitely trade with it. And they might choose to not block, in which case it will be so that I can leave the Siphon SS up and use the Rending Flame if they don't have anything worth countering. But here I won't be using the Rending Flame. If they want to block, that is fine. I have the 2/1 flyer still to deal damage, and I have this deck has a good late game, so I don't have to thrush and try to deal any extra damage with the 3/2 here. So now it's pretty easily. The Entomber isn't gonna be that good, so I'm gonna pass up with the counterspell mana. It's possible they don't play anything because I don't have a target for the Rending Flame. That just means that I didn't play the Entomber here. Now if I draw like I guess I would need to draw an island. Okay, well they have that, so I just can do this, so no need to worry about anything. I'm not using the blood token. Oh, actually I am, now that I realized. I don't need the Entomber for anything. I want lands instead, so yeah, obviously I'm gonna use it. Am I a fool? Okay, Flame Breather is a better 2/3. Oh, more counter spells. Yeah, I mean, they would have to tap out entirely. But there's a chance they do tap out entirely, and if they don't, then I have the Rending Flame to deal with whatever they might have. Yep, that resolves. And this will not exile, but this is a spirit, so it will at least deal 2 additional damage. If I mean, that's assuming I'm gonna use the Rending Flame on the infantry, which is actually quite unlikely. Okay, that is a very nice thing to syncopate. Look at this, all the counter spells working perfectly. I usually don't respect them much, but this deck is actually the kind of deck that can use the counter spells because of all the instant speed interaction. Now the Whispering Wizard is very good. I start getting some 1/1s with these things, assuming this thing survives. They still have the Storm Chaser Drake they need to deal with somehow. They are not gonna, win me. They are not gonna win the race here. So, let's see what they have, I guess. I don't need the 1/3. I don't need the damage pings from it. I wanna see what they have. If they have tricks, be my guest and use them. Important thing is that the Whispering Wizard would survive. Okay, Grasp there. Anything to kill the Flame Breather? Nope. But they do get card back. Diecraft Scavenger comes back. And yeah, I think I will kill, of course, the Drake here. I will kill it with the Lacerate Flesh to get a couple of Blood Tokens, which I might not use because I want to play the Screaming Swarm, of course. But I want to use this later on. Now they will be exiling something from my graveyard. That is not gonna matter. This will ping them and then they will go to 12 after I have attacked. I guess they could have left this as a blocker. This didn't achieve anything, so they could have prevented the 1 damage there. Persistent Specimens, alright. Well, they have the flyers to deal with. If I draw lands, the Screaming Swarm will be a thing. If I don't draw lands, well, I have a spell then. So, not such a bad situation. And the Weary Prisoner is actually not so bad. I will probably have to use the Rending Flame on this Diecraft Scavenger, but that's fine. I mean, I will of course not still take the 2 damage from this Death Toucher, but I can block the infantry. I kind of want to leave the Rending Flame until they have this in their graveyard and enchant something with it, but I might not have the luxury to wait that. This thing doesn't have trample, so this persistent Specimen is actually quite good at blocking the 6/6 if it ever becomes knight. I'm still winning this race. I'm barely winning this race, but of course I do have the Rending Flame, but I don't know what they have in their hand. They have Roadside Gargantua, which is gonna make me... Yeah, well, that is very good for them. I'm gonna lose my Flame Breather now. That's the card I need to sacrifice. And also... well, it can block. Actually, the 2/6 can block there. Okay, now I got my another flyer, so I like my chances a lot more. Unless if they can kill the Weary Prisoner, I might be forced to block the Rock-Tide Gargantua because taking 7 damage here would be quite a lot. But let's see if they have removal on the Prisoner now. I of course win in 2 turns here. And I still have the Rending Flame. So they need to do something to the flyers. They have only 2 cards I don't know about. Okay, Fearful Villager. I can double... Oh, they made it into a... Oh, is this a win? I mean, it's a win if they don't... Yeah, well, I'm gonna go for it. Because this is now 6/6 that has to attack, so... Okay, they do have a card of some kind. Maybe they make it indestructible. Well, I can still play the Villager here. Okay, they didn't. And they of course took 2 from there, so now let's see what's there. How do they plan on winning here? They mill 3, but... I mean, I could mill myself, but... They could have some disturb cards, but let's see what... I mean, let's still mill them. Learn about their deck. Okay, land, Socialite. So they might have a Fierce Retribution. Oh, what's the card? I don't ever... Maybe it is that, but... Anyway, the Cleave spell that kills an attacker for 2 mana. Any creature for 6 mana. Alright, so... What did I see here? Vampire's Case, Nurturing Presence, Okay, this is a good one. It's on instant as well. The Gargantua, the Scavenger. Not a lot of white actually here. Only a couple of white cards that I saw. So how does that affect my sideboarding? Do I care about the 3/3 flyer? It is good against the Courier Bat. Fear of Death, Cradle of Safety. Oh, I didn't see a lot of targeted. I mean, only the Parasitic Grasp here. Ah, this targets me. Yeah, no, it doesn't even target, it's each opponent, so don't have anything for that. Well, I'm gonna play the 2 counter spells in my deck. Probably I won't be playing the Wash Away. Thinking about the Fear of Death, Binding Geist, Cruel Witness. Is something here bad? Are the 1/3s unimportant here? I mean, they can still block the Drogskull Infantry, they can block the Ragged Recluse that hasn't transformed. But maybe it's not so great. Kind of feel like I like a Cruel Witness here. I'm gonna gamble a bit. I'm gonna make my mana go worse. Was there enough creatures to make the End of Festivities a good sideboard card? I don't think so. I think I'll just use this deck and see what else happens. Okay. No 2-drop, but I just sideboarded 1 2-drop away. And I don't have double blue, but I can have the Belligerent Quest for turn 3 anyway, so I think this is a reasonable hand. I mean, it's never a mulligan. In limited, you would have to be against a very, very aggressive deck for you to throw away hands just because they don't have a 2-drop. This hand is completely fine, except for the fact that it doesn't have a 2-drop. So I might get run over. But even if this becomes a 3/3, the Belligerent Quest can trade with it. And then I can, well, I suppose, yeah, if I have to play the Scattered Thoughts on turn 4, that might mean I get too much behind. So I hope that if I draw a land, it would at least be an island, or just play something, you know, just draw some spell I can cast. A creature, hopefully. Now they played a turn 2 Vampire's Kiss, but they didn't have a land drop, so they actually couldn't even transform this guy. So they are needing a land drop now. I'm gonna trade with this. It's a snap block, because this is gonna become a 3/3 anyway. And I don't need, I mean, I'm happy with these lands with the Screaming Swarm in my hand. I will get to find 2 additional cards. They might have the +2/+2 and make it indestructible. Or Undying Malice works too, so they can get that back, and then it actually will be a 4/4. That's really good. It will transform into a 3/3 with a +1/+1 counter. So now would be a sweet spot to actually get the island, so I can keep this tapped with the Grim Shackle Geist. They discarded a Kindly Ancestor. Okay, well, the Lacerate Flesh can kill it. So they saw some counter spells from me, so maybe they are a bit wary of what they're gonna cast, although it's not like they have too much options there. I mean, they're gonna cast something, they're not gonna pass with 3 mana up. They don't know it's gonna be only a Scattered Thoughts that I'm holding here. But I'm taking 5 here. 1/4 is not gonna be great. I will have the Lacerate Flesh, but the problem here is that because I don't sadly have a counter spell, there will be a creature here that will continue doing damage to me. But of course I can find something nice with the Scattered Thoughts. Maybe I can double spell. Who knows, a 2 mana spell and a Grim Shackle Geist. They're gonna get Kindly Ancestor back. Not great. Not great at all. I mean, they drew the 3rd land probably on a moment, which was quite important for their tempo. But let's see if I find... Well, I'm gonna find an island and a Chill of the Grave here. So I don't have a zombies in here. Even this is a bird horror. Okay, so I could now play the Geist and say that this thing won't untap. But honestly, just do this. Take 2, play the 6/6. Oh, no, not 6. 6 mana, 4/4. And well, I might also play the Dream Shackle Geist because that leaves me a Chill of the Grave up. But the opponent is gonna have a lot of... I mean, they have 5 spells in their hand. I think I might need my rare first pick in the draft. So what I can do is still maybe play the bit safe and play the Geist, say that the bat won't untap, and then I will tap the Kindly Ancestor too. That seems like what I wanna do here. Leave the bounce and other stuff for later. Don't think they can have any reasonable response to this. They can have a Lantern Flare, but it's still gonna do this thing. Alright. Specimen. Alright, now if they... Well, they need 2 more mana for the 5/4. But yeah, I guess I'll just play the Screamish Bomb now. Hopefully they don't have more removal that can work here, because I need to be able to block the bat. The Prisoner wouldn't allow me to do that. And next turn I will have actually 8 mana, so I can play the Prisoner and bounce something with 4 mana. But if they kill this thing now, it is very close to game over. Now this can keep coming back, of course. It has the recursion ability, but it's quite slow. Second from top. Now this cantrip helps me get there, but I know they have 4 spells in their hand. Diagram Scavenger. No, definitely not great. But yeah, because I'm at 7 here. I'm at 7. Okay, no more lands, please. Can't even attack with my nice 4/4. There's just no way. And I am going to block the Diagram Scavenger, I think. Because I can't just keep taking damage. I will just use the, you know, the put whatever thing. Okay, they only attack with that, so okay, let's see. No tricks there. So if they don't do anything else, I can just use this right away. Tapper. Well, that's annoying. That's really annoying. Yeah, I think they just have too many spells. Well, now the Cruel Witness is not bad. Second from the top. Yeah, that does mean that I have only 1 card in between there. So I most likely have to just bounce the Tapper in here, don't I? Kind of waste this Cruel Witness trigger because I know I want to draw this, but it's fine, I guess. Yeah, let's bounce it right away. So that will stay on the library here. Let's draw it. And I do have some blood token generating here, so I shouldn't play all the lands, but I guess this is enough. This is enough now. Yeah. They are gonna... Well, I don't know. My Screaming Swamp can do some... But the problem is the Nebelgast Beguiler. I need to find the one thing that can deal 5 damage to them. Or, you know, my, you know, the first pick of the draft. That would work too, but they have a pretty good... I mean, with 6 lands... Okay, this is the one thing I need for the Beguiler here. So actually this means I can also be a bit risky and start attacking. I also need to win somehow. I can't just wait until I draw my big red, which might be the last card in the deck. So I can play this and leave mana up for the Rending Flame, so I like that. This being a 2/6 is fine, it's gonna block the Fellstinger anyway. most likely. Now that said, I could just, you know, block with the Screaming Swarm and, you know, have it come back very soon. But I guess the trade is fine here. I kind of want to draw some more fresh cards. Okay, Gluttonous Quest instead of the Tapper. I wonder, maybe they just want to use the Persistent Specimen here. It's a possibility. Land. So, can I attack? I mean, if they have removal, I'm in big trouble, but I also feel like, because they can return the 1/1, they can attack with everything. I would take 2, 3, I would take so much damage here. I can use the Rending Flame, but I don't want to. But if I don't attack, this is also, I mean, of course I can't attack with both, but I can attack with the Screaming Swarm here. But I would be facing lethal if they have any. Well, no, with the Rending Flame I wouldn't be facing lethal about. I mean, with the land it's really bad. I guess I just have to now pass and play safe. I do have, of course, a winning card in the rare. No, yeah, it's just too risky if they get to remove a guy here and attack for 7, and I would have to use the Rending Flame or something nonsense when I need to use it on the Beguiler instead. It seems like the Vampire Kiss was somewhat good. Okay, they have the Gargantua here too. Well, I mean, I'm playing 18 lands, so annoying. But yeah, I guess I'm gonna have to sacrifice the Screaming Swarm. I can get that thing at least come back. Problem is the Tapper. I would really want to use the Rending Flame on the Tapper. But I might have to use it on the Gargantua. The good thing is that I could use the Screaming Swarm and then use the Rending Flame and maybe potentially mill the top card, and then I can immediately draw the Screaming Swarm. Because this thing, you know, triggers from the Rending Flame, of course. But then when they play the Tapper. But problem is I don't have a block on this guy. Alright, let's just try to kill it. Let's see if they have the +2/+2 and the indestructible trick. Alright, Syncopate. Well, that works too. Great. So I'm gonna counter the Beguiler now. Sadly, also that trigger will be wasted. I'm gonna play the land just in case I need to play the Syncopate for a lot of mana. I mean, I'm gonna put X equals 9. That's gonna counter everything. They don't have that great of an attack. Sigarda's Imprisonment. Well, that's lethal if I don't counter it, so I guess they just have it all. Alright, so X equals 5. Might as well put 6 there, why not? I know I don't want to mill that because I want to exactly draw it. The 2/5 will be my death. If they have a land Beguiler now, I won't be having a good chance here. Yeah, but the opponent of course has 7 lands. There, they discard a land. Well, that's 8 land, but they won't have mana for them. So instead of playing land Beguiler, they chose to discard a land, and they happen to even draw a 3-drop here. But I guess they can't attack into my stuff here now. But I think it was better for them to play the land and play the Beguiler. Well, now I need a Hullbreaker Horror. That is still an out that can, you know. Okay, they just I mean, look at this stuff. I lose now. They have a 7 damage when they attack with all. If they... yeah. Wow. I mean, I guess if you just draw... well, they did draw a 8 land here too. They used the blood token to get rid of it, but... still, even though I play 18 lands in this deck, let's count now the number of lands I drew. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 9, 13. So I had only 5 lands and 11 spells in the deck. So I did draw a lot more lands than spells here. Alright, so anything I should consider? The Lantern Flare is annoying. The Rottach Gargantua is annoying. I kind of want to play this counter spell too. Is that crazy? It's not. I'll play it. And maybe I'll cut another Entomber here. I feel like the 1/3s are just so useless. The Spirit is also maybe interesting. But maybe not. Maybe not. The Fear of Death is quite good. Oh, it's not good with them. It's not good with the exploit stuff they have. They have at least 2. Yeah, I don't want to play Fear of Death in this deck. How about Binding Geist? No. Cradle of Safety, I still didn't see. I mean, they have a Lantern Flare and they have a Parasitic Grasp. Now this has some slight utility. You know, it can target this to draw me a card and just make a creature suddenly +1/+1. It can matter sometimes. But is there a card I'm willing to cut for it? That is the actual question. No, I want to play some of this stuff. Yeah, this is fine. This is fine. Let's just try to, I don't know, maybe if I get to 7 lands, I actually want to draw my rare. That would be something. Well, there is 4 lands, 2-drop. I miss my 3-drop unless I draw something, but now there's the horror. And unless the opponent can have like a very fast start, I think I will have time to get to 7 lands here. Now I'm very happy I have 18 lands, because I don't mind if I draw a lot of lands. Even if I miss my 3-drop here, it's fine, because I have this quite nice defensive 4-drop here. Bloodseeker is not gonna do a whole lot right now. I wish I had one of my counter spells now. That would be actually an amazing curve, but can't have it all. I think this will happen on turn 7. I mean, I'm at 6 lands now. Okay, well, they have the life linker, so they can actually raise me. And well, there's the 7th land. So now maybe I don't want to draw another land. I want to play some spells. That's the reason. I mean, I did keep 4. Oh, I did keep what? 4 lands, 3 draw steps, all lands. I mean, good for the horror, but they get to start doing this too. I need some spells too. I mean, I didn't want to draw 3 lands back to back. That's dead. Okay. Now I could make it into night to have this as a 6/6, but cancel. That's not necessary here. It would be really awkward if I drew another red spell, so I couldn't even play my both spells. So this as a 2/6 will be enough. I mean, this Hullbreaker Horror hopefully wins the game. I don't... they have a... no, this can bounce itself. Yeah, I mean, even if they have the pacifism, I can bounce itself. Assuming I draw some spells here, of course. What's it gonna be? Okay. Rejection, which will... I mean, I'm going to now, of course, make it into night. And I kind of don't even want to play the rejection here, but let's see what they do. I might be forced to use it. This thing has a must attack clause. They might, of course, double spell to make it back to day. But that would mean they have only one card. Alright, so they're gonna sacrifice something. There's not... I think I'm just gonna lose this. There are of course a lot of chances here. I mean, I can just bounce these wildlets on the stack, but it means they will still play it again. I can surprise block the Gargantua, although I wouldn't want to because they can actually play a +2/+2 effect. Well, it doesn't kill the 7/8, but they might have the deal 3 damage uncommon. Yeah, I wish I had a counter spell, that would be so good. But I think I'm gonna just have to let them sacrifice one of their things and I will, you know, sacrifice the fearsome werewolf in here. Yeah, I'd prefer to have the 6 toughness creature. I'm probably going to bounce whatever is gonna get this Droxcall infantry on it. No point playing the rejection right now. This thing has to attack. So let's attack. I don't imagine they're gonna block here. They just take 6. And then I have the option to... The horror is so great, I might just play it on the end step too. I mean, because if I... Oh, they go for the double block. Now that's interesting. I could bounce the Kindly Ancestor here. I can just trade with the Gargantua. Oh, what did I do? I didn't want to do that. Oh man, well actually I will not do this because... Oh, but I think I know what they're gonna have there. They're gonna have the stupid thing that returns... Actually, I really didn't want to do that. I mean, I needed to put the Gargantua. They're gonna have the 1 mana trick there. I needed to put the Gargantua first in there. Damn. But they even didn't have it. So now I have to actually... Now that I did it that way, I think I'm going to have to take a risk with the horror. But let's see what they do pre-comp. They might just attack for 6, and then the problem with the horror here is that they might have the uncommon that deals 3 damage. Okay, I'm happy they did to choose that. Hopefully they also use the Droxcall, you know, armaments. Ideally on the Bloodseeker. Now they are tapped out. This is what I needed to happen. But they might still have the 1 mana trick here. So... Well, I'm gonna play this anyway. Okay, it was so instant. Yeah, I don't think they have it. So I'm gonna just do like this, yeah, and then I can, you know, start doing stuff with the, you know, bounce stuff. But first I will, because I drew another land, because why not? I'm actually gonna save this up. Maybe I'll play the land here still. Now I shouldn't be whining, I have a crazy bomb rare, I have untapped with it, and I have a spell in hand, which also draws me another card, so I should be in a rather good shape here, but this thing is just a 3/5, this thing doesn't have a lifelink or anything. So this can bounce something, and then I can bounce a permanent or a spell with the Hullbreaker Horror ability, but I don't want them to have this pacifism here, for instance. They are gonna get a blood token. Yeah, I'm gonna let them have it. As long as I have only the 1 spell, I want to use it to protect the Hullbreaker Horror. If needed. I can take 3 damage in here. Yeah, I think I'll take it for now. See what they do and maybe do something end of turn. Just a Mind Leech goal. Exiles a card, so I can exile a land. I mean, if I don't expect them to sacrifice anything, please do. If yeah, I'm just gonna exile a land here. So, yep, didn't expect that to happen. So I could bounce a couple of things here if I want to. Sure. Guess I could have bounced the blood token too. Well. Okay, land and okay, that's gonna work. This won't. No, this could die if they have the fierce retribution. So let's just bounce the blood token. That will also give them life from the gluttonous quest. So. And I know they won't have mana up for fierce retribution if they're gonna use that to draw something. They discard the quest here. And I'll attack for 7 and then I guess I'll mill them. Okay, Gargantua. Second one. Well, I don't have to worry about that. Now, am I gonna play the land? Because kinda I don't want to. Because I might draw one of my, spells that give me... They just jump block here. Right? I mean, I want to use this ability if they're gonna kill it. Okay, I'm gonna play the land here. I mean, if I draw a spell that gives me blood tokens, it's gonna be a burn spell. That's gonna be good anyway, and I still have one land to ditch here. But now they can pacify this and exile it, but they don't seem to have it. Alright. So now they are in a bit of trouble. Okay, well, there is the lacerate flesh. Exactly what I needed. Now, I mean, I can just kill the other one and bounce the other one. Sounds fair. Sounds fair indeed. Well, I have lost to the Hullbreaker Horror myself. It's time for me to use this card to... Okay, do they want to respond to that? Okay, I'm gonna mill them. They might get some disturb cards, but who knows? Maybe I will win by milling. Okay, that helped them too. They definitely didn't need more lands here. But they need something pretty specific. Because they also the scream, even if they deal with the horror here, the flyer will be nasty. They have one card I don't know about. Okay, another lacerate flesh. Well, let's get 3 blood tokens, I guess. Bounce this one. And this will be lethal if they have nothing. Very fun and fair. I should do this because I can draw a counterspell. They could have like a fierce retribution there. Well, I'm not gonna discard that. Grasp in there, that's fine. It's 3 damage. They actually survive this turn now, but now they have an empty. Well, they have the card that doesn't. I know that doesn't help, and they can't. Well, with the Chill of the Grave, it's gonna be a surely victory here. Yep. All right. First pick won a game here, and that was the match too. Right. Let's see if my counter spells are gonna work. I could have a turn 2 counterspell and a turn 3 counterspell. Opponent mulligan to 6. So they need to have a 3-drop on the next turn for this thing to work. And it gladly did. That also is a very good one. I think I would have just lost to that thing. I mean, with this start, could have been really bad. Alright, so now it doesn't have to be anything else than a creature that they would be playing. I'm not gonna use the chill pre-combat. Red and white. Okay. You're gonna get... This is a way too good picture of counterspells. Look at the stuff I countered here. Oh man, they are not usually that good. That was just, I mean, the best, you know, 2 counterspells that you can have, really. That was amazing. Well, I'm still not in a safe place because of the... they still have the Heron of Hope there, which is gonna actually transform this guy. So I'm going to use the Chill of the Grave on the Heron of the Hope to at least, you know, make it a bit slower for them to transform that thing, because this will gain them 3 life with the activation, and this only cares about gaining 3 life. Okay, more lands. Well, I have a Blood Token I can throw away. Alright, so what can that mean? Sure Strike alone won't be good enough. They can have like a, I mean, the damage spell, but they need to have some, if they are gonna use card and lose the bystander, that would be great for me. So it has to be a combination of cards, like Sure Strike. If they use 2 cards to deal with the prisoner, that's fine. I wanna see what happens. I'm not gonna double block. That's 1 card, and then they have a 2nd card to kill it. Oh, what the heck? Why would they do that? They just wasted it. They didn't want it to become a knight, right? I mean, that doesn't matter at all to me. Yeah, this is pretty... Oh, wow. So this is actually not gonna untap anyway. This triggers at the beginning of my combat, so I should use this right now. So what I can say now, that also the panicked bystander won't untap. So now both of these will, you know, stay tapped, and then I can continue keeping the Heron of Hope to stay tapped. Or then not. Well, Upgrade will still be good, but that actually now is the time to make it Knight. I can use the Upgrade. Yeah, I let them use the activation. I mean, they might have like another... Yeah, I don't care. I mean, it's too valuable to, you know, respond to this activation with Upgrade. If they have a way to save it, well, then they have it. They're gonna throw away the mountains to find something, and then I can... And I assume they're gonna make this into a 3-5. Now, they don't have black mana, so this won't have a death touch, but 3-5 is still, you know, a lot better than a 2-2. Okay, they don't... I'm not gonna use the upgrade now, I wanna see what they do there. They don't do anything. Well, I'm gonna save my upgrade here. So I'm assuming there's gonna be like a fierce retribution. Yeah, I don't attack with the Selhofer and Tomb, but it doesn't seem to make any sense. Piercing light there. It's dead. Does that mean that the 6 damage will go through? They scry to top, so that's something they wanted to draw. Okay. I play the 7th land, but I won't be playing this in case I draw my own Lacerate Flashes. I have 2 of those. Wedding Invitation. Alright. Draw a card. Fleeting Spirit. So they are still not gonna use the Heron of Hope. Maybe it's time to... Yeah. it's time to do this. They double spelled, but I will, go back to, passing without the spell, so this is fine. This is gonna be a 6/6 again. Now this will threaten to be a first striker, but I have the lunar rejection, which is quite nice here. They can use their multiple blood tokens here to throw away their lands to get something good. Can they double spell? They have... okay. That was the final blood token, but they got rid of a bunch of lands. That's good for them. But they have 3 mana to double spell. Can they do that? I don't even need to use the rejection here. There's no point. Currently, if this is gonna attack now, this is not gonna be a good... Alright, so now... definitely... return target creature to owner's hand. And there's a lacerate flesh too. Fantastic. No double spelling from there. Oh, Whispering Wizard. So this, they don't have a white mana, so they actually can't make this into a first striker right now. I can attack with the Entomber. Could be relevant. They just jump. No, it's not a... they can throw away a card to save this. But I mean, if they throw away a card from there, another Piercing Light, that is just fine. Basically, they gained 6 life for it. It's not bad. But with the stuff I have going on here, I mean, if I didn't have the counter spells on this thing, and then the pretty darn good rare, if you want to read it, you can read it, pause the video, because this is just an amazing bomb. So that would have beaten me. Not gonna block that obviously, because it can just kill the wizard for no reason. That's not going to help them. They couldn't even double spell. So this is just a win when I lacerate flesh, isn't it? Yes, it is. That's gonna be 10 damage. Okay, so the prisoner here did the work. Actually, I think this deck could use 2 of these. This is exactly the kind of deck that can use these for a couple of reasons. It's like a late game focused deck, so I care about the 2/6 defender, and then because I have such an amount of instant speed interaction that I can often just pass the turn to make it into 6/6, force the opponent to double spell. Alright, so a white and red deck has multiple Piercing Lights, Nurturing Presence, Hero of Hope, Lacerate Flesh, this bomb here, really annoying to kill with the burn spell too. Adamant Will, yeah, they have a pretty efficient package there. So the Fear of Death, wash away. Cradle of Safety, how much? Okay, they have the Piercing Lights, they have the at least 1 Lacerate Flesh, so I guess I could consider running the Cradle here. I don't know what to cut here. I don't think I want a Cruel Witness against that deck. Maybe I'll play the Screaming Swarm still. How about... now that I showed them 2 counter spells, I think I will cut the Siphon Essence here. The Syncopate can counter anything, so I will keep that. So, any other moves? The Fear of Death can be okay. For example, on the Hero of Hope, maybe. Tough. I don't know about the cuts. I wouldn't mind sideboarding that in, but yeah, I think I need early drops against that deck. Yeah, I'll have it like this. Well, why not? Maybe I'll draw my Hullbreaker Horror. They start with a 1-drop. That is not nice. If they go 1-drop, 2-drop, my Syncopate won't even be that impressive. Oh, and I made a mistake. I shouldn't have played Island because now they have complete read of the Syncopate. Darn. That was a mistake. Well, I did draw the Hullbreaker Horror, but now let's see. They can play a 2-drop here easily. Well, now I can counter more efficiently. So, okay, they just. And now this is the good part about the counter spells and the bounce spells and card draw. I can just pass the turn, and you know, I can do either counter spell or a counter spell, bounce spell, or card draw spell. So now it's probably going to be the. It would be interesting to have the Lunar Rejection here too on this, because they're gonna start pumping this guy on my turn. So I actually think I'm gonna do that. Yep. This is all good. And now the question is, if I play the Villager in here, they are going to be able to play anything that costs. Yeah, I'm not gonna play anything. I'll play the Scattered Thoughts if they don't offer me something to syncopate. Then on the next turn I can play the Villager and the Rending Flame, for instance. I take one here, which is something I can do easily. They can play the Officiant, which is fine. And then I will play the Scattered Thoughts. This is how the counterspells work, because this opponent is clearly playing around counterspells. So I'm going to have an island and a mountain. I guess I'll take a mountain because I have 3 islands on the battlefield. Yeah, doesn't matter really. So now my counterspells aren't that bad because I can still play relevant spells, even when I don't get to use them. The question is, am I gonna play? They're gonna make this into a 2/3. Now, of course, I will play the Hullbreaker Horror very soon, and then they will be in big trouble at that point. But I feel like I will play. Yeah, I will do it like this. I will have the Villager here. Let them use their counter-adding ability. And when they attack, I will block. And then if they sink 5 mana on it, I will just use the Rending Flame. Hopefully they don't have like something that can save it. They could have the +2/+2 and indestructible thing. And that would be exactly perfect, but I guess that's dealt with. So now Hullbreaker Horror will be quite annoying for the opponent. And I hope they don't. Okay, Lacerate Flesh won't even help there. So yeah, I'm gonna go for the Hullbreaker Horror now, and hopefully it will be enough. It is. Alright, well that was, I like how this game showcased that when, I mean, imagine if I didn't have the setup for the counterspells with the other instant speed effects. The opponent had good stuff, good reasons to play, good ways to play around the counters, because they had the counter-adding ability here. It would have been really sad to just pass the turn with counterspell 1 up, not being able to use it. But now I was able to bounce, then draw cards, then use the Rending Flame, which, you know, didn't work, of course, because they had the will, but it was still a good game plan. And that way I can play counter spells. But not every spell, every deck. I mean, if a deck has 17 creatures, like 3 sorceries and 3 instants, 2 of which are counter spells, it's not gonna be great. That's why I don't like them in most decks. But yeah, let's go to the final match. Okay, quickly found opponents here, quite nice. Okay, still on the draw, but hey, it has worked well for me to be on the draw. Okay, well, since I can't play 3 of my spells, I mean, assuming this works at x equals 1, I will keep this opponent mulliganed here. And I have 16 out of 33 cards lands, so it's almost 50% lands there. Okay, well, I'm not sure when I'm gonna actually mana up for the syncopate, because I'll just play my 2-drops first, most likely. What kind of 2-drop? Okay, Sanguine Statuette. Not that worried about that thing. Let's start with the flyer and then have the defensive things. I can't, you know, block the 3/3 anyway, so not like this do a whole lot. I might actually use the Entomber to discard creatures to draw cards. Rending Flame. It's dead. Okay, land is good. Let's play this instead. Prisoner could be... Actually the 6/6 is often quite nice against the red and green, because the red and green doesn't have a lot of ways to deal with high toughness creatures. Right, I will be, well, first of all attacking, because I'm not gonna block that thing. I mean, there's a very risky game plan of making it into a knight and, you know, then blocking this thing, and I could leave, because this is becoming a 6/4, but this will be a 4/3 which can block, and then I have a syncopate for that thing. Actually, I like that, because of the syncopate. Without it, of course, would be a horrible plan. The problem is if they have a massive might, I can't counter that. I can't even counter a Witch's Web. Okay, well, let's see how it goes. That cannot be countered. Not that I care about it too much. The exile creature both will be... So whenever any player, even them, play a creature spell, this thing will deal 2 damage. Okay, well, with the Siphon Essence, I'm actually going to continue with this. Now I can counter any creature spell or anything that is an expensive spell. Are they going to use the Bloodsoaking now, losing the statute value there? I think they were supposed to use this on their turn. What the heck, Bleach? I didn't expect to see a black card. Okay, that's funny. Hey, play some spells there. Oh man. This is awkward. I'm gonna still play this. I'm not gonna discard the hand size, but now it's gonna happen that they're gonna play something and my counter spell is gonna be, you know, stranded in my hand. I mean, it's possible they just have lands in their hand, but what is this black card in there? In a red-green deck? That's a really tough splash. Okay, Toxic Scorpion gives the first strike a death touch, so I can't block it. But I still have... I mean, that wasn't the worst. First strike death touch, yeah. Let's not block that thing. It's not the worst, because now... Let's find a land. An upgrade. Yeah, well... I need to sadly do it on my turn, because again I need to discard hands. Now I guess I can play the Flame Breather too. Alright, let's do that. Oh, I made a mistake. I didn't realize one very important thing. I could have discarded the Flame Breather on the Entomber. I guess I can still discard something, but I don't actually want to discard, because this only can of course discard creatures. But point is that the Weary Prisoner will be quite good here. So I'm not gonna discard it. Dream Shacklegeist will not gonna discard that one either. So those are my only 2 creatures. I'm not gonna discard a creature to this thing. Hopefully I just draw a land. Okay, so now they found something. So the options are they have a massive might. In which case I should triple block. But if it's a Witch's Web, it's a horrible idea. So I guess I'll just have to... Oh, this can't be blocked. Oh, they had nothing. But of course, I mean, I can't block with 1 power creatures when it's night. Yeah, well, that was a pretty simple thing. Don't mind them making that. Oh, they have a Magma Pummeler. Well, I wish I had my counter spells. Yeah, that's a problem. Okay, my 18 land deck finally found. But yeah, now you see the second you know, side of the counter spells. These are gonna be really bad. If I just had the land for the syncopate here, that would be so amazing. But yeah, so... Problem is if I block with this 6/6, they can put 5 damage somewhere. The Cemetery Gatekeeper dealing 2 damage is actually starting to annoy me. But anyway, I think I'll still play the 6/6. And they will either choose to finish off the 6/6 or maybe deal 5 damage to me. Because of course... No, this... Yeah, because remove that many counters from it. Yeah, this will deal 5 damage to something. If they choose to attack with it, of course. They might not. Well, that I can burn. Although it's night now, I don't like it. They will get a... I can't even burn it now that it's a 6/5 not a 5/4. So what do I do here? Die, I guess. A bounce spell would have been so good now. It would be only a 2 mana bounce spell against the wolves and werewolves. So what is the game plan here? This has to attack, by the way. There's no question about it. Do I want to play the Dream Shackle guys to pre-combat to tap something? I think I'll just have to kill the Toxic Scorpion, to be honest. Because it will just trade with the Jailbreaker. Oh, I can make it into a day by double spelling the Dream Shackle Geist, which will tap the Magma Pummeler, I guess. Take 2. The Gatekeeper has done a bit too much work to my taste. So let's tap them. Magma Pummeler. This guy has to attack, upgrade the Death Toucher. Oh, I get a trigger from this thing. I guess the Gatekeeper has done some work to deal damage to them too, so they actually have a choice to now trade with the Crusher. They get to draw a card here, but I'm happy to get rid of that thing. I'm happy to get rid of that thing, even though that means them drawing a card. Sadly, my counter spells will probably be useless. Especially the Syncopate. Maybe not the Siphon Essence. But I guess I had 2 good counter spells in the previous match, so better have it like this. To show how bad they can be. Okay, they go down to 11. And they go down to 9. Okay, actually this was now, with my flyer here, they are in a slight trouble here. So I'm gonna take the 5. I just have to take the 5. Then I will lock down the Magma Pummeler with the Dream Shackle Geist. And I don't have any creatures to play with this thing. So I can block. I have to play some spell. Yeah, absolutely will play a spell too. I mean, this actually, the next thing that dies will be growing this to a 4/4. I don't think I want that. So I'll just, I know I could main phase the Scattered Thoughts, but it makes no sense. This is the best play I can have here. Well, that actually pings them to the Flame Breather. Yeah, I can play the Syncopate to ping them for 1. That actually can be relevant. Now I can tap one of these guys, make them go to 3. It's not gonna be worth it, so I'm gonna say that. Target creature doesn't untap. This won't untap now. Okay. So I'm actually gonna maybe throw the Syncopate to deal 1 damage with the Flame Breather. They don't have a good attack now. If they have a creature, they take 2 damage. They might actually throw away this guy, just for that reason. Okay, it becomes night now. Do I want to use these 2? They have a 7 mana, so if they have like a 2 mana trick, I still can't counter it. But I like the fact that the Syncopate is basically 1 damage with the Flame Breather. Scattered Thoughts is another. Yeah. Actually, I can connect with this Geist thing here. say that this thing won't untap. I mean, I guess if I knew they have nothing, I could have taken the risky route and just tap this thing and attack with all. But if they have like a kill spell on the Geist, that would be just me losing the game there. So now with the I can play Scattered Thoughts and the Syncopate. I guess I can play this right away. I mean, if I find another non-land, it's just gonna be a win here. Well, that sounds very good. Wow. No non-lands. But it's fine. Not gonna play this because the Syncopate or Siphon Essence both will be lethal, and they can't win without playing a spell, so unless they get some very weird life gain in response. Yep. That was a weird game. Actually, in the end, it was more relevant that they took damage from the Gatekeeper than that I took, because that made my clock a lot faster. Wow. So in the end, both of these were left in my hand, so that's sometimes what happens. This Bleed Dry is the weirdest card, because I can understand splashing a single caster, but how many black sources are they gonna have? I mean, they need at least 6. They have a Swamp, they have the Taxidermist, and they have the Werewolf, but the creatures that tap for colored mana, they are also unreliable because they can be killed. Well, I don't have to worry about that too much. I just need to figure out if I want to make some sideboarding here. For example, they have big guys, but they don't have ways to block flyers, so it's kind of interesting to maybe have something like Cruel Witness here. On the other hand, I need to deal with their big ground guys. I see a couple of removal spells, although the other one is not that easy to cast. I think the Fear of Death would be interesting. Cruel Witness, what is bad here? Maybe one of the Entombers again. Not so good against the green deck that has, big creatures. Didn't even see any 2-drops there actually, other than this 2-1. And the thing that taps for mana. So I will have at least maybe a Fear of Death. Cruel Witness. Let's have a Fear of Death here. And then I guess I can play the rest of this stuff. Yeah, let's do that. I will sideboard differently if it goes to game 3. The Cruel Witness might not be needed, but it, might be needed too. I don't know. Okay, well this is well it's actually not so bad because I have the Upgrade and the Flame Breather here, but on the other hand, this is a double blue card. Although this will bounce some of their stuff with only 2 mana, so if I find 1 blue source. But I think it's too risky. I will mulligan this now. Oh, come on. Ooh. Well, I mean, if I draw a mountain, I can play a bunch of this stuff, so I'm gonna keep it and not have the Screaming Swamp. I mean, mulligan into 5 is sometimes an option, but this is gonna be a good hand if I draw the mountain. I'd rather gamble on that. I have 9 mountains in the deck. Okay, that doesn't remove anything. It is a first striker though. So let's have a non-game here and then try to wrap it up in the game 3. But let's learn. Well, these are all cards I saw in the game 1, so I haven't really learned anything. Okay, I got not a mountain, but something I can play. Maybe even the Fear of Death here. They can attack for 4 or... But no, actually not, because these can just block the 2-1 first striker, so... And I don't want to Fear of Death the mana producer. I'll just play this, and if they attack for 4, then they will attack for 4. Yeah, okay, you have the that thing right there. I do have the bounce spell though. Well, I think I'm gonna have to use it now to not make it night and also to draw hopefully a land. Yeah. Let's not draw the land. So I have 16 lands and 13 non-land. Over 50% chance. It has been for a couple of turns over 50% chance to draw a land. Wow, exactly what I needed. I guess it's time for game 3 now. Don't think I want to change anything. Like the Serpentine Ambush could be interesting against some of this stuff, but still maybe not good enough. I'll just use the same deck and hopefully I will get a better start. Well, maybe I will find the mountain at some point. The good thing about these red cards is that they are good later in the game too. And I have the Dream Shacklegeist and the Siphon Essence, which I can be casting here. Let's see if they are keeping the 7. They seem to be wondering about the mulligan, but they kept 7 there. Okay, now that's great. I can get rid of that 2-drop if it's something, for example, the mana producer. Yeah, that's not gonna give them any mana here in this game. Now, of course, I have the option to... No, I let them play the 3-drop, and then, because I have a 3-power flyer here. Do I have to use this? What? Choose up to 1. Okay, done. Let's not choose anything. Yeah, so... Okay, they had nothing, so this is a pretty... I mean, now the counter spells are just gonna be insane. Because I can just, you know, keep countering the stuff for a couple of turns, and they will be going to what, 11 here. That doesn't even need to be countered. I mean, they will exile a... I mean, I don't need to counter that. I don't care if they exile an instant here. I'm winning with my flyer anyway. And I can start, you know, making this unable to untap. That I will use. I will also get rid of the island. I get a blood token from here. Blood token from here, so I can draw something better maybe. So this won't untap. It will still deal some amount of damage to me. Because I have instants in my hand. And now that's an interesting question, because they could play like a land and 1 mana burn spell to kill this. In that case I wouldn't be able to syncopate it. I think I'm gonna play this, even though I have the Lacerate Flesh, which will, you know, I want to throw excess lands to this, but I want to just... okay, that I will just counter, like, not a question about it. Take 2 from the Gatekeeper, but like I said, it won't matter here now. Especially because I can, you know, keep it tapped down. Okay, that is completely great here. Because I get to both play the Fearful Villager and still use the Chill of the Grave here. So them missing the land drop is probably all I need here. Okay, they get a 1/1 token here though, but actually what I'm gonna do here, I'm gonna tap down the token here, kill this expert with the Lacerate Flesh. I won't get any no, I guess I could take some blood tokens, but no, I'm gonna still do it like this. I feel like that's what I wanna do. Not quite lethal here. Okay, now I'm a bit more sad that I didn't. Well, whatever, this is fine. I mean, they are going to go to 3 now. They need to deal with the flyer and then they need to deal with the Menisci. Although the Menisci isn't lethal quite yet. If they can kill the flyer, yeah, that still could be. They have a rending flame. Oh, but oh, that's the gatekeeper hurting them. Now they need to kill this with a sorcery. That doesn't do it. That does not do it.
This little candle's gonna set your world on fire.
Okay, that's it. That is it. Cemetery Gatekeeper hurt them in both games. That they lost, you know, so that it was, I think, more relevant that it hurt them than it hurt me. Yeah, so it seems like I keep balancing my gem balance with the best of 3 drafts while I get some bad results in best of 1 drafts. But it's fine. In the end, it's good that at least one of the draft formats work well. So I did play the Kraken. No, well, it's a Kraken horror. Hullbreaker horror a couple of times, and it was obviously great in both of those games. And I do think this deck, the playing 18 lands was justified with double scattered thoughts, with some number of blood token generating, and of course the the 6 and 7 drop finish has here. And well, I got to showcase how counterspells can be. That they are what I call high variance. Sometimes they are better than any creature would have been, and sometimes they are just worse than a creature would have been. In that's the case. So I prefer to have kind of a stable variance card, so that that whenever I draw a card, it does at least something. Whereas these counterspells sometimes just don't do a whole lot. But in this kind of deck, I don't mind running them. It's fine. But yeah, I think the next one will still be a traditional draft. Like I said, if you have seen all these drafts, you know all these stories. But in case someone new is watching these drafts, or someone just occasionally watches my drafts, in December I will focus a bit more on traditional drafts. I will play maybe 2 traditional drafts and 1 premier draft. Have that kind of cycle here. But because I don't have any ranking up needs in December. Claim the prize here, and also my traditional drafts just seem to get me better results. So I do wanna balance my gems. I'm still down in gems overall in the completing Crimson Vow series. So this was draft number 38. After draft number 40, there will be another kind of set completion update. You see how my drafts have went and how close to set completion I am after 40 drafts. But yeah, there will be. So yeah, this was 33. Yeah, a couple of drafts from now, and there will be the next update. So next one, still a traditional draft. Thank you for watching, and I will see you then. Bye bye.